Welcome, Times Square, to the 22nd Annual Solstice in Times Square Mind Over Madness Yoga. Be sure to visit our sponsor tents in the Yoga Village on Broadway between 43rd and 45th Streets right after your class for a showcase of cold beverages to cool you off and other offers from our partners. This class is being streamed on Facebook Live and Twitter at Times Square NYC, so text your friends to watch and check your feeds later tonight as well. And now, for the last class of the day, please welcome Times Square Alliance President Tom Harris, along with event co-founder Douglass Stewart.
Thank you, Joe. Good evening and welcome to Times Square. This is the last class of the longest day of the year. Shout out to the staff from the Times Square Alliance who's been here since before 4 a.m. So thank you very much, folks, for all that you've done to make this a great day. We are thrilled that you are here to celebrate our 22nd Yoga in Times Square. Whether this is your first time in Times Square, whether you've been here every year, whether you come every day, the Times Square Alliance strives to have a clean, safe, and inviting experience for you. We like to do these events to show people the positive side of Times Square. If you like what you see today, we have some free events Tuesday through Friday from 5 to 7 in the plaza. We have some musical performances you could find online at our website at tsq.org. And then our hope is that you'll love this place so much that you go see a show, go to a restaurant, shop in our stores, and just tell all your friends how great it is to be in Times Square. So I'll stop talking. We did save the best for last. The best instructor is the last instructor, and I'll turn it over to Douglas to talk a little bit about the event.
Thank you, Tom, so much. Thank you, Times Square Alliance. You know, year after year, 22 years, we've been offering this event, and Times Square Alliance has been such a great, enthusiastic support for the event for 22 years. Please, another round of applause for Times Square Alliance. And this is indeed the longest day of the year. The sun is, well, now it's setting on the west side, but it was pretty intense earlier in the day. I think you've chosen well. There's a nice glow here and there's a breeze. I hope you'll have a wonderful practice, and I look forward to sharing it with you. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
One last thing, it is hot. We have water for you. Use it if you need it. Watch yourself. Watch your neighbor. If you need assistance, there are folks along the side from the staff who could help you. Have a great class.
Thank you, Tom.
And here to lead your class this evening, the man who conceived the idea for this event back in 2003. In collaboration with Times Square Alliance, received a gold distinction in the Shorty Awards for the Summer Solstice video during 2020. He has also received the Community Service Award for volunteering yoga classes at the LGBTQ Community Center. He teaches at the Ishta Yoga Center, including the teacher's training, and also teaches yoga at the Own City Yoga and currently leads meditation at the PPOW Gallery. Please welcome right back our event co-founder, Douglass Stewart.
Namaste. That was interesting to hear my life just sort of flash like that with the voice of God doing it. Thank you, everybody, for coming. We're starting in our practice in a seated position. You've come into a comfortable seated pose, whatever is comfortable for you. I'd like to thank Carla, who is demonstrating for me here, and Celine is on the next satellite, and then Kathy Lilly is on the farther satellite. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're seated, everybody, comfortably. Are you able to just lean forward so that your hands touch the ground? Leave your eyes open. This is an interesting experiment. Just getting in tune with the earth through the places of your body that are actually touching it. Feeling the vibration that's happening in Times Square. And allowing your energy and your intention to marry with it. Begin to let go of any holding or tensions that you've brought into this practice, whatever they are, wherever they are. Just feel that you have the ability, even now, to let go of some of the stuff that has been blocking, aggravating, prohibiting my unfolding. Let go of any holding in your legs, if possible. Feel how you can release any tension in your pelvis. Let your shoulders fall from your jaw. Your elbows just softly relaxed and your palms firm against the earth. Come upright, everybody. Your eyes closed now. One hand on your navel and the other hand on your sternum. Just be aware for a moment or two the sounds around you. Be aware for a moment or two the breeze that touches your skin. Be aware of the light that filters in through your eyelids. If you dare, notice the smells in the atmosphere. Mindfulness, present, fully available for the experience of practicing yoga in this environment. Tune toward your breathing. Just notice it. Let a breath flow into your belly and then into your chest. And as you're breathing out, just notice how the breath leaves your chest and how the belly just floats back towards the spine. Play like that another 2 or 3, softly, easefully. And your breath mingles with everything else around, harmonizing. Open your eyes, everybody, and release your hands just along the sides of your body. Your fingers are reaching far, far, far away from your hips. Your palms are cupped up. Take your left hand up. I'm mirroring you. It's my right hand, but it's your left hand. There you go. Root that sitting bone deeper down into the earth. Feel it root deep down. Now stretch the left side of your body so that we can reach all the way over to the east side. Look toward your supporting hand initially, and then see if it's possible to feel your breath moving through the left side of your body. Look toward your raised armpit. Root both of your sitting bones deeper down, and then roll your sternum slightly more towards the sky. A stretch. Come upright, everybody. Your hand floats down. Close your eyes and just feel how you've changed the left side of your body, just with that simple gesture. Notice. Take your right hand up. Root the right sitting bone deeper down. Stretch all the way up through the sky with your right fingers. Your left hand walks to the left. Look toward your left hand and just see if it's possible to move breath or to detect breath in the right side of your body. Look up beyond your raised arm, root both sitting bones down. Take a full breath in that allows your sternum to roll just slightly more towards the sky. Now as you're breathing out, float down. Nice. Breathe in, your hands reach east and west. And now up as you sit deeper into the earth. And as you're breathing out, your hands float down. Wonderful. A nice full breath in that allows the belly to swell and the chest to swell as we lift the arms right up, palms are touching. And as you're breathing out, the hands float down. I won't call the breaths anymore. I'll let you explore your own rhythm. We'll do 4. Amazing. This last one, everybody, draw your palms down toward your heart. Your thumbs are touching initially, but lay your right hand in front of the left hand so that you can hook your thumbs and bring your thumbs to your sternum to lay your fingers right on your lungs. Garuda Mudra, close your eyes. It's a nice gesture to eliminate any tension and strain that's accumulated in the heart center. Any energy that's blocked, physical, energetic, soothed by this gesture, Garuda Mudra. Release the pose, everybody. Step your feet now so that they're right on the ground. Your feet are flat on the ground. I'll turn sideways so that you can see me. Your feet are parallel to one another, and so are your leg bones. Will you lean your torso right onto your thigh bones? And look toward your navel. A nice release of the previous posture. Just notice how your back moves as you breathe. Let your shoulders fall. Round up to sitting so that your shoulders are now right over your hips and your ears are right over your shoulders. Hold on to your knees and see if you can make more space between the low ribs and hips and between shoulders and jaw. This space wants to diminish for most of us, the low ribs and the hips. See if you can cultivate space in that region. Yes. And even between shoulders and jaw. Beautiful. Let your breath move. Send your legs forward. Let your thigh bones drop down and your shin bones. Reach your hands forward and up. Make that space between hips and ribs, space between shoulders and jaw. Dandasana. Step your right foot to the outside of your left leg. Wrap your left elbow around your right knee. Send the right hand forward and up. Move the sitting bones deep into the ground. Cultivate the space between hips and ribs. Use those actions to gradually rotate or to unfold to the right. Your right hand comes down. Yeah, you can let that right hand come down back there. That's it. Just notice your breathing. Let go of the rotation, everybody, sending the right foot forward. Step your left foot now to the outside of the right leg. Wrap your right elbow around the left knee. Send the left hand forward and up, making space between hips and ribs, space between shoulders and jaw. Use those actions to rotate to your left. Your left hand comes down. You can look back over that left shoulder. The breath moves. Let go of the rotation, everybody. Both feet come forward again. With your hands behind your pelvis, you can lean back onto your hands and just drag your heels towards your sitting bones. It's getting a little bit harder now as you lift your shin bones parallel to the ground. Navasana. There's that space that we're curious about between hips and ribs, between shoulders and jaw. If you'd like, you can send your heels right into the sky. 2 breaths. Touch down. Shavasana. Lie onto your back. If the previous pose was about engagement, this pose is about surrender. Let go. Let go of it. Roll to the right side of your body and round up to sitting. And come onto hands and knees so that your hands are right underneath your shoulders and your knees are right underneath your hips. And as you breathe in, just float your sternum and your chin and eyes up and tailbone. And as you're breathing out, point your tailbone downward, press into the earth with your arms, hands, to cause your spine to round. The in-breath, your sternum floats forward and up, chin and eyes and tailbone. Breathing out, the tailbone points down. Press into the ground with your arms and hands. The spine rounds. 4 rounds on your own. Just have the sense that you're lubricating the shoulder girdle, the pelvic girdle, and all the vertebrae of the spine. You take your time. You make it yours. We'll do another 2 rounds or so. Cat-cow. The next out breath, everybody, leave your hips right over your knees, but begin to walk your hands and arms slightly more forward so that your elbows drape down onto the ground. Your forehead lands on your block, on the ground. Or if you've got a block, right on the block, or you might even make fists, 2 fists, one stacked on the other, so that your forehead lands on your fists. Puppy dog stretch. Let breath move through your upper body. Remember, everybody, your pelvis is right over your knees rather than on your heels at this point. So those of you that are sitting back will want to come forward so that your hips are right over your knees as you walk your hands forward. There you go. We'll take another 2 breaths like this. That's it. Walk your hands back to your torso or to your legs. And then will you step your feet forward so that your heels are right in line with your sitting bones, but bend your knees a lot so that your belly lands on your thigh bones. Hold onto your elbows with your hands and let your navel hug right against your spine. It's ragdoll. Release your neck. Change now so that the other arm is in front. Drop your fingers to the earth. As you breathe in, stretch your torso forward towards me and Carla, or towards your front space. Make space between hips and ribs, space between shoulders and jaw. And as you're breathing out, fold over your legs again. Release your neck. Let's walk up to standing, your hands walking up your legs. Your chin tucks right toward your collarbone, and you feel your legs and feet reach into the ground. And as you climb all the way up to the top, will you shrug your shoulders up to your ears and roll them back and down? Let's be here for a moment. Human, 2 feet, upright, steady, stable. Breathe in, your hands flow out and up as before. Breathe out, float down over your legs. Breathe in, stretch forward. Breathe out, fold over your legs. Let's walk up to standing again. Your hands walking up your legs. Your chin tucks toward your collarbone. You'll just take your time, this gradual ascension upright. As you get to the top, roll your shoulders to your ears and roll them back and down. One more round, this vinyasa. In. Folding out. Stretch forward in. Folding out. This time, if you'd like, press down to float up to standing or walk your hands up, whichever you choose. Let's stay here, everybody, upright. Touch the sky with your fingers and root deeper into the earth with your legs and feet. Cultivate space between hips and ribs. Cultivate space between shoulders and jaw. Great. Take a nice breath in that stretches you up and down. And as you're breathing out, step your feet to touch. Your palms come to your heart. Breathe in, your hands flow down and out and up. Breathe out, floating over your legs. Stretch forward as you're breathing in. And as you breathe out, send that left knee back and down onto the ground, far behind. 2 options here. Ashwasanchalasana. You can bring your hands right on the front knee or thigh bone as your sternum lifts. Those of you that are more flexible may take your palms up towards the sky. Shoulder blades hug close to your back. It's the in-breath. And as you're breathing out, hands touch down, framing that front foot. Step into plank pose. The front foot moves to the back foot. Hold here, 2 breaths. Bring your knees down onto the ground and your chest and your chin, keeping your elbows close to your body. Bring your hips down onto the mat. Slide your sternum forward and up so that your ribs clear the mat. Hug your elbows close to your body. Make space between shoulders and jaw. Cobra pose. Lower down, everybody. Press to hands and knees. Sit back onto your heels. Child's pose. We'll pause. 6 breaths. Feel how your back moves as you breathe. Come onto hands and knees. Slide your left foot forward. Your pelvis can slip slightly more forward. Maybe you need your hands on the front knee or thigh bone. Maybe you're able to send the hands forward and up. The little fingers leading up and back, if you're playing this. Shoulder blades cling to your back. Now as you're breathing out, hands touch down. Step your back foot forward, feet touching, folding over your legs. On the in-breath, press down to come up to standing, palms touching above. And when you're breathing out, bring your hands to your heart. Observe. Slight transformation than when we began. Feel. Breathe in, your hands flow down and out and up. Breathe out, floating down. Stretch forward as you're breathing in. As you breathe out, send the right knee back and down onto the mat, far behind. Low lunge, or Ashwasanchalasana, equestrian pose, plank pose, breathing out. 2 breaths here. Knees touch down, chin and chest touches down, the tailbone floats up. Into cobra pose, the sternum flows forward and up. Maybe the ribs clear, maybe the navel clears. Shoulders, space between shoulders and jaw, beautiful. Hands and knees, everybody. Sit back onto your heels. Child's pose. Great. 6 breaths. Come to hands and knees. Step your right foot forward. Equestrian pose, variations if you need or like. Rather than sinking down, draw up and back. That's it. Now as you're breathing out, hands touch down. Step your back foot forward, feet touching, folding over your legs. Press down to come up to standing, palms crossed right at your wrists, crossing your palms right so that your palms touch. Draw the leg bones to each other and the arm bones to each other so that as you lengthen through the core of your body, you're able to stretch over to the right. Your feet root deep into the ground so that the sides of the body lengthen up and over. Let your breath move. Your ears are parallel to your arms. Nice. Come upright, everybody. Change so that the other wrist is in front. Pressure your palms to each other and the arm bones and leg bones to each other. Get length through the core of your body. Use those coordinates to stretch to the other side. Let breath move. Come upright, and as you're breathing out, float down over your legs. Hold here, 4 breaths. Maybe over time your hands can walk farther back towards the back edge of your mat if you're flexible here in this forward fold. And maybe your forehead and knee comes right toward your knees or shin bones. Torso forward as you're breathing in, it's Ardha Uttanasana. Now as you're breathing out, float down over your legs. On the in-breath, press down to come up to standing, palms touching. And as you're breathing out, gather your hands to your heart. 2 breaths. Breathing in, your hands float up, your palms are touching. Get length. As you're breathing out, your hands come down the center line of your body. Bend your knees as if you wanted to sit deep onto a chair. Your hands come just to the sides of your feet. You might need to step your feet apart, or hug your legs to each other for more support. You can barely see your toes. Draw your navel against your spine. That prepares you to free your hands onto your thigh bones if you'd like to modify. Or you may be able to send your hands forward and up for Utkatasana. The navel hugs close to your spine as you test the depth of your chair. It's the navel that hugs into your spine that allows for you to go deeper into your chair, your sitting bones and fingers reaching away from one another if you're fully expressed. We'll hold for the next summer solstice. Lengthen your legs, everybody, and fold over them. Torso forward as you're breathing in. And as you're breathing out, will you slide that left knee back and down onto the ground? You may want to fold the left edge of your mat in so that you've got some softness underneath that left knee. I'm not using my mat, but I can. You can fold the left edge of your mat in so that you've got some softness underneath that left knee. Your right hand comes onto the right thigh bone. Your left hand reaches forward. There's that stretch. There's a space in the vertebra. Replace your right hand with your left hand. Use your right hand now that it's free to drag the skin of the belly to the right. You may like to place that left hand on the ground again, framing the right foot as you rotate to the right. Or you may be able to send the left elbow to the outside of the right thigh bone with your palms in prayer. Or you may be able to stretch the back leg long, standing into the back space with that left leg. And as the left leg grows, the spine lengthens in the opposite direction for 2 breaths. You may need that left knee down on the mat for support. You may need that left hand on the ground and framing the right foot. Step into plank pose, everyone. Step right into plank. Knees, chest, chin as you lower down. Low cobra. Stay if you need. The hip bones drawn forward. High cobra. The arms lengthen if you're able to. Up dog as the knees clear and the sternum reaches away from your toes. Come to hands and knees into downward dog. Your sitting bones fit diagonally up and back into the sky. You feel the sides of your body lengthening as you continue to cultivate space between your hips and ribs and between your shoulders and your jaw. Take 3 more breaths if you can. Look forward and then walk forward, your feet touching, folding over your legs. On the in-breath, press down to come up to stand, palms touching above. And as you're breathing out, draw your hands to your heart. Breathe in, your hands float right up, your palms are touching. Get length along the sides of your body. And as you're breathing out, draw your hands down the middle line of your body. Sit deep on your imagined chair, your fingers right along the sides of your feet. Hug the legs to each other if you can. Stay here if you need to. Draw the navel to the belly, or to the navel to the spine, and bring your hands onto your thigh bones, this modification. Those of you that would like to fully express, your fingers reach forward and up, navel to spine, as you test the depth of your chair. 4 breaths. Your toes are like balancing supports. Let them spread into the earth to support your depth. Great. Navel to spine. Space between shoulders and jaw. Lengthen your legs, everybody. Fold over them. Torso forward as you're breathing in. And as you're breathing out, slide that right knee back and down onto the ground. You can fold the right edge of your mat in so that you've got some softness underneath that right knee. It's concrete under there, so you may need that softness. Your left hand comes onto the left knee. Your right hand reaches forward and up, making space through the spine. Replace your left hand with your right hand. Use your free left hand now to just move the skin of the belly to the left. To modify, your right hand comes down onto the ground, framing that left foot. Or you may be able to play deeper with the upper right arm to the outside of the left thigh bone, your palm's prayer. You may be able to play deeper still by stretching that right leg back into the space behind and growing your spine longer. Revolving right angle, 3 breaths. Step to plank pose, everyone. Knees, chest, chin as you lower down, the out breath. Low cobra, the in breath. High cobra if you're playing on. Up dog, maybe, according to your ability. Knees touch down, downward dog. We'll hold for 4 or 5 breaths here. Come to hands and knees. Step your right foot forward. Stretch the left leg long behind, flipping that left foot onto the mat. Bring your right forearm onto the right thigh bone. Send your left hand to the left. And now up towards the sky, supported right angle. Feel your feet underneath you. Feel the ground supporting you. Find length. Hi, Tim. Find length along the spine. Soften through the pelvis. Stay here if you'd like, or bring your right hand down onto the ground to the inside or outside of that right foot, and stretch your left hand and arm away from the left foot. Utthita Parsvakonasana. 2 breaths. Feel the left side of your body breathing. Step to plank pose, everyone. Bring your knees onto the mat far behind your hips. Lift your toes away from the ground. Balance the ribs, neither cat nor cow. And as your elbows bend into the back space, bring your shoulders down in line with your elbows as they bend into the back space. Hover, 2 breaths. Chaturanga, supported. Lower down, low cobra, high cobra, up dog, hands and knees into downward dog for 3 breaths. Come to hands and knees. Step your left foot forward. Stretch the right leg back into the space behind. Flip that right foot flush onto the ground. Your left forearm comes onto the left thigh bone. The right hand reaches to the right. And now up. Relax your toes. Make space through the hip joints. Broaden your back. Stay here if you need, or bring your left hand down to the inside or outside of that left foot. Stay here if you'd like, or stretch the right arm and hand away from the right foot. The sternum rolls slightly more towards the sky in that case. 2 breaths. Step to plank pose, everyone. Bring your knees down onto the mat, lower to your belly. Make a pillow with your hands. Turn your face to one side. Let's pause. Turn your face to the other side. Press onto hands and knees. Step your right foot forward. Stretch the left leg back into the space behind. Right hand on the right knee, left hand forward. It's warrior two as the left hand reaches up and then back into the back space. Feel your feet firm against the mat. Relax through the pelvis. The right hand floats above the thigh bone. Can you broaden your back? Press into the air with your arms. Make space between hips and ribs, space between shoulders and jaw. Your right hand reaches way forward and then up towards the sky as the left hand draws down towards the outer edge of that left foot. Cartwheel down, right hand, left hand. Turn the left heel up. Float the left knee down onto the mat. You might need to fold it again. Bring your right hand to the inside of the right foot. Your forearms come down onto the ground or onto a prop if you have one. You can support your jaw with your palms. Lizard pose. There you go. Step to down dog. Come to hands and knees. Step your left foot forward. Stretch the right leg back into the space behind, flipping that right foot onto the mat. Left hand on the left knee, right hand forward, and then up and back into the back space. Look right over your left hand. The light is so beautiful this time of night. Times Square. Reverse warrior. A nice glow. And maybe that glow is coming from inside yourself as we continue to cultivate ease and grace, light and love. Cartwheel down, everybody. Left hand, right hand. Flip that right heel up. Float the right knee down onto the ground. Bring your left hand to the inside of the left foot. Maybe you're able to come down onto your elbows eventually. You may be able to support your jaw with your palms over time. Step to down dog. Come into plank pose. Adjust your left hand so that it's right under your left shoulder. Bring the left knee down onto the mat. Open your torso to the right, flipping that right foot onto the ground. Bring your ears and shoulders, hips and knees and ankles into the same line. Send that right hand up towards the sky. Stay here if you'd like. Or as the right hand floats overhead into the space ahead of you in the front space, float the right thigh bone parallel to the ground. Can you balance? 3 breaths. Step to plank pose. Bring your knees down onto the mat. Lift your toes away from the ground. Balance your ribs. Bend your elbows into the back space. Bring your shoulders down in line with your elbows, no lower. Great. Lower down. Low cobra. High cobra, up dog. Open your heart. Make space into downward dog. That's nice. Just feel how the breeze brushes against your skin. Notice how we're just flowing in harmony with all the various rhythms in Times Square. We are an integral part. Come to hands and knees, everyone. Step your other foot forward. I think it's the right foot. Stretch your left leg back. Thank you, Carla. Right hand on the right knee. Left hand forward and then up and back. Warrior two. Broaden your back. Reverse warrior. Cartwheel down, right hand, left hand. Step into plank pose. Adjust your right hand right under the right shoulder. Bring your right knee down onto the ground. Open to the left side. The left foot flips onto the mat. Your left hand goes up. Now you may need this. You may be able to float that left thigh bone parallel to the ground and reach your left hand far from the left foot. Balancing. Step to plank. Take downward dog. Look forward, everybody. And as you're breathing out, will you stroll forward so that your feet touch one another, folding over your legs. Press down to come up to stand, palms touching above. And as you're breathing out, bring your hands to your heart. With your hands on your hips, shift your weight now onto your left foot and take hold, float your right thigh bone parallel to the earth. Make space between hips and ribs. Make space between shoulders and jaw. Stay here if you'd like, or take hold of that right ankle with your right hand. Keeping the legs close to each other, cup your right toes with your palm. Take your left hand parallel to the ground, and then up towards the sky. Balance. Natarajasana, the first expression. 4 breaths. Keep growing. Keep lengthening down and up. The root and the branch. Step down. Vinyasa. Breathe in, your hands flow down and out and up. Breathe out, float down over your legs. Torso forward as you're breathing in. And as you're breathing out, fold over your legs. Sweep to standing, palms touching. And as you're breathing out, bring your hands to your heart and then to your hips. As you shift your weight now onto the right foot, float the right thigh bone parallel to the ground. It helps if you draw the navel towards the spine. Stay here if you need. Otherwise, take hold of the right ankle. Cup your right toes with your right palm. Draw the right heel closer and closer to the right buttock. Balance the rib cage as you send your right hand forward and up. Everything comes towards your center. There's nowhere else you can be as you balance here. It's great. Touchdown, everybody. Celebrate. Breathing in, your hands flow out and up. Breathing out, float down over your legs. Torso forward as you're breathing in. And as you're breathing out, float down. Come to standing as you're breathing in, palms touching. Now send the inner heels deep into the earth and roll your leg bones inward, just using the inner leg muscles to roll the legs inward. As the heels root down and as the legs roll inward and as the hip bones draw upward, you've got a nice root system to just open your heart right up towards the sky. It's the inner heels that root, it's the legs that roll in, it's the sides of the body that lengthen, it's your shoulder blades that cling to your back as you trust those coordinates to lift your sternum up and back into the back space. 4 breaths. Drink in the light through your heart. It's all about the roots. Come upright, everybody, folding over your legs. Step your feet away from one another with a slight outward rotation of your legs. Bend your knees and bring your forearms down onto your thigh bones. It's wrestler squat. Stay here if you'd like, or if you're able to, maybe you're able to bring the pelvis down into the line of your calf muscles with your elbows. The thigh bones reach into the back space while the tailbone draws forward into the front space. Make space between shoulders and jaw, between hips and ribs. Malasana. Easeful breathing. Stay here if you'd like, or as your hands come forward onto the ground, parallel to one another, you can lift onto your toes, and as you walk your legs and feet in, you may be able to hug your upper body with your inner legs as we come to Bakasana. Your toes touching behind. As you lift onto your hands, if possible, hug the legs to each other. Ease down to sitting, everybody. Your hands can fall behind as we come into a straddle. Your right hand pressures onto the left thigh bone, and your left hand reaches to the left and up. And then reach over to the east, to your right. That's it. Those of you that are able to loop your middle finger and forefinger and thumb of your left hand around your right big toe, and as you pressure into the right thigh bone, you may be able to roll your sternum slightly more towards the sky. 2 breaths. Beautiful. Come upright. Let's change. Left hand on the right thigh bone. Right hand reaches to the right, and then up and over to the left. Both sitting bones root. Loop your middle finger and forefinger and thumb of your right hand around the left big toe. Roll the sternum towards the sky a little. Come upright, everybody. Gather your legs. Lean back as you loop your middle fingers and forefingers and thumbs on your big toes. Bring your knees to your armpits, maybe one at a time. The leg bones and the torso come towards each other. Make space between shoulders and jaw, hips and ribs. The low back reaches forward a little bit. You've got some support. Send the 2 sitting bones and 1 tailbone deeper down into the concrete and let your legs extend. Hello. With the inner legs towards each other, gather your legs to each other. Move your sternum right up towards the sky. 2 breaths. Cross your shin bones one over the other. Fold forward, potted palm. Come upright, changing, legs, hip bones float forward and down. Breath moves. Come upright, everybody. Step your feet onto the ground again. Come onto your back. Come right onto your back. Walk your feet away from one another and let your knees come into touch. Bring your arms to cactus arms so that your palms are facing up and your elbows are on the ground and the backs of your hands are on the ground, if you can. That's it. And your inner knees and legs come in to touch each other, to support each other. You got it. If your hands are not touching the ground, you may want to make a different position with your arms and hands so that you're comfortable. You may even want to cross your arms over your chest. That's another option. Yes. Those of you that have your arms crossed, will you change so that the other arm is in front or on top? And then walk your legs in so that they're parallel. Lengthen your legs forward and down. We'll come right into Shavasana, corpse pose. Just let go of any holding that you find. Will you lift your shoulders, everybody, and reorganize your shoulder blades so that they lay against your back? And open your arms a little bit from your body with your palms facing up. Adjust your head and neck so that they're comfortable. Let go. Let go. Through the practice of yoga, we are cultivating harmony. Organizing into a deeper connection with mind and body and spirit. And allowing that connection to inform our connection to nature, the universe, our relationships. Rub your thumbs over your fingers, wiggle your toes a little bit, and draw in a full breath that brings your hands up and over into the back space beyond your head. I see some of you tickling someone's feet. I don't know what's going on there. Stretch your left side long, stretch your right side long. Roll over to the right side of your body. Pause there for a moment. Come up to sitting, everybody, maybe in the position that we started our practice in, easy seat, Sukhasana. Bring your hands to Namaskara Mudra. Your palms are touching. Your thumbs land right on your sternum. Close your eyes and just feel that connection where your thumbs have landed, right on the heart center. Notice there for a moment. Let's chant the mantra Om 3 rounds. It's a vibration like all others, the ultimate vibration, really. Let's chant the mantra Om 3 rounds if you'd like to, just sealing in the benefits of the practice. Join me if you want. Let this peace that we've navigated towards continue to inform us and inspire all circumstances and situations. Namaste. Thank you, everybody, for coming to practice tonight. So wonderful to see you. I hope this serves you and supports you long afterwards. Thank you, Times Square. Thank you, guys. Yay! Times Square Alliance, they are amazing. Thank you, Carla. Thank you, Celine and Kathy Lilly on the far island. Thank you all. Have a good night. See you soon. See you next year.
Wow, what a class, Douglas. That was absolutely amazing. I wasn't joking. We did save the best for last.
Thank you.
22 years doing this. What was that first class like?
It was interesting, Tom. At that time, there were just three of us in Times Square. It was a monsoon, or seemingly like a monsoon. It was raining cats and dogs. The newscaster said, "Don't come outside." So no one showed up but three of us. Tim Tompkins, who's right there.
We have Tim. Wait a second. We have a surprise guest. You have to come on up. This is improv at its best. What? Other event co-founder, Tim Tompkins, former president of the Times Square Alliance. So say hello to the world.
Hello, and thank you, Douglas, for an amazing class. Thank you, Tom, and all the people who, as you said, were up to 4 in the morning on this incredibly hot day, bringing a little bit of peace to the world.
Thank you.
I'm glad someone listened to me when I talk. Who would have known?
I hear you, Tom.
So that first class, 3 people in Times Square. Over 8,000 people were registered for the class today. How amazing was that to see this event grow?
It was so incredible that the first time there was only 3 of us, me, Tim, and Chesrina, and watching it grow from that to this. I think there were 8,000 people today, but just completely different in a sense that there were less people then, more people now. I think the energy is a little bit more concentrated lately these days. I think people need more yoga these days. So what do you experience?
Well, I also just saw the amazing mix of people you had. People from different parts of the world, some of whom have come to live here in New York. Amazing, sort of representing the diversity of New York and how New York really is a place for the entire globe. And that this message of peace and calm in an ever more divided world is more needed than ever.
Yes.
We can all use a little peace and calm. So you both practice yoga all around the city. What makes practicing in Times Square so special and this event so special?
You know, Dharma Mitra said it perfectly. He taught earlier today, just before my class, and he said, this is a perfect environment to test, to see if it's possible to find inner calm, inner peace. This is like the testing ground for all of that. So Times Square, I think, is the ultimate place to hone your practice. My opinion and Dharma Mitra's opinion. And
how does one stay centered in the midst of all of life's distractions? And there's a few distractions in Times Square.
Yeah.
So throughout the 22 years, you have led classes in different time slots. What's unique about those time slots?
I love the evening, Tom. I love the evening because the light is softer. As you know, in the afternoon, the light was pretty intense. The morning I like, it energizes. My classes intended towards energizing, setting up the day. In the evening, it's a softer light, calmer, easeful flow.
And Tim, you led a class during a monsoon. How was that?
It required focus in the midst of distractions.
Something that I know is challenging.
Especially for me, yeah.
So 364 days a year, you practice yoga elsewhere. How can the world practice with you during those other 364 days?
Well, 364, I teach at 2 studios. I teach at the Ishta Center, and I also teach at Om City Yoga, Upper East Side. So.
And how can they get in touch with
and
us?
Just,
this is your chance.
They can
website,
just
phone number,
phone numbers,
Insta.
website. Both of those studios are on. They have their own websites, Ishta Center and Om City. And you can look me up there anytime. Not 364 days of the year. I mean, I'm in and out of there less than 364 days, but primarily there at those 2 places.
Final words?
Just be compassionate, I think. Just cultivate compassion.
Tim, final words?
Thank you both.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us in Times Square for the 22nd Mind Over Madness Yoga event.
Thank you.